And I'll get to that here at some point. But, the thing was, when I first met the Hill, and like I said, that'll tie back in here in a little bit. We had lived there for several years and had never so much as really seen them. And, but the first time I met Candus was after an incident, like I said, we'll get back to, which is now part of what we're trying to all figure out. But, anyway, she was on a dirt bike with the next youngest, and I'm not gonna call names other than Summers. And, diaper full on that one, hanging off, old as the hills. And his little sippy cup, it's full of liquor. I know that because of, announced it like it was something to be prideful about. Because he wants something to drink, and she told him no, we couldn't have that liquor in it. Hello, new neighbor, right? And then the first day I met her, she was telling me about a church con for Easter. And how they didn't really do that, but there was this church, and you get the free bike at this one, or you could get $100 in this one, and wouldn't know if I joined. I'm like, man, I'm not into that stuff. Y'all know I'm atheist, but I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, not my type of people, sort of thing. And then asked if I go there just to help her. I'm like, no, ma'am. Anyway, what I didn't realize, nor did any of the rest of the neighbors who knew them closely, was that she was pregnant that whole time. And I have the messages to prove when we all found out Summer existed, which was after she was born. Because in the middle of a snowstorm, here they come in February with a car seat, and had to park at the end of the lane at Ben Hill and walked in with Summer. Because you couldn't get into the road. And I and the other neighbors, immediately, they messaged me and were like, do you see this? And I was like, see what? And they were like, they just walked in with a brand new car seat. I'm like, you're kidding me. We were all like, holy shit, another one. Great. And then when I first got to meet Summer, she was rigid. Every time you'd hold her, she was stiff as a board. She cried. She had fetal alcohol sitting in her ears like her siblings kind of did when they were younger. And obviously that whole time I had watched, but we didn't know she was pregnant. Every day drinking. So then, a few months goes by. I'm not over there. I'm not really paying attention. And I go over there at a certain point. For something, some reason, who knows, still trying to be friendly with these new neighbors I'd met. And concerned for other people's children despite our own situation on there. Which, at that time, everything was going pretty smoothly for a few years on our hill. It was one of the rare times. It lasted 3 or 4 years in a row. So it was calm my way. So at that point, I guess I had the ability to throw stones. Either way. Their well water was straight sulfur. Bad. To where when you turned it on, and that's nobody's fault in there. Well water's well water. Each one's different. But if it's this bad and discolored, you go get bottled water. Especially for a baby. And I was standing there watching as it wasn't formula, but a little bit of milk, mostly water, and oatmeal for one that was not even, a few weeks old, like a month or two. And I was like, holy, like hell, you can't do that. You're gonna hurt that baby, Like, no. Man. So, formula I had, they send you mail for like 25 years after you have a child. I happen to have a son. I gave it to him. After that, I guess whatever, contact was intermittent off and on throughout the years, depending on. But, there's also a reason my kids and theirs never really hang out. Because it was like, It wasn't their faults, you see. I knew it wasn't their faults. They couldn't help that. Couldn't help how they were being raised or done or anything like that. But, and I don't even know that the other hill realizes. But I know at first I thought, well, they don't have money to feed them. They don't have this, they don't have that. So I would bring groceries over and do whatever, So would other neighbors, churches, whatever. But then you start to realize over a length period that there's all kinds of money. Just like there's always all kinds of money. Man, even Andy could bring in like $1,000+ a week and they would still be able to drop more and afford more. But you'd watch in the evenings as the liquor was bought and as the cigarettes were bought and this and the other and a case of beer, but then like a box of off-brand Q corn dogs, right? And not even enough in totality for the entire family. And sitting on the bar like it was some great fucking feat. But then when there was a new engine that needed to be bought or anything like that, here's that money immediately available, same day, thousands of dollars. Wouldn't leave her with any money, but had a bank account. And we always thought maybe inheritance is the other, although we're told there are other things that have been for a while now. Especially after runoff periods that usually are 3 days to Knoxville. For supposed, crack smoking sessions that somehow you come back with more money than you left with. It just never makes sense. Nothing ever. It's always been like you could ask people about the color of the sky, and it's like trying to nail down Jell-O. It's always been that way. It's why I never thought much about them lying throughout this whole thing. It's still why I'm like, I don't know. Guilty, not guilty. I can't tell you. It's like diabetes, and there's always a church theme. After every 3-day runoff, for years, it's all of a sudden, I believe in the church. And crazy talk, So I didn't think much about that either after Summer vanished. I mean, that started immediately that evening in the past tense talk, which also didn't bother me that night. It didn't seem like what Boswell type stuff. What did bother me, though, are statements I initially took as like a schizophrenic person I know saying that they'd come to him and said something, some sort of quote from one of the religious texts talking about cleansing those who had basically gotten tainted, like a sexual sort of comment type of thing. But you never know whether that's tweaker or schizophrenic, and so you don't know whether to take that with a grain of salt or... I know, it's real bizarre. Whole thing has been a circus for minute one. So, yeah, it looks like my new vehicle, have a little bit more talking to do, in case you've not noticed. Anyway, I'll get there eventually. So, they, over the years, it's been weirdness like that, right? And then you realize they do have money to spend, just not on the kids. And it's like, what the hell's up with that? And then you'll leave her without money all day, but here you are, and you have money to drop, and always these thousands to drop, and, and it's like right now, what gets me is, like, just a couple weeks ago, when I guess we were still in neighbor terms, everybody's pissed off about having to pay a couple of bucks in child support. And then the other night on the video, chat over Facebook. It's that all of a sudden it's this astronomical number and they got to pay that. It seems like, hell, that shouldn't be a problem for you, considering, like, you know, and if you live on those hills and you have those properties and the houses the way they are, and so there's really no bills. So, and you're still working, you shouldn't have a problem paying any of that. So, why are you suddenly concerned about money from, I don't know, wherever the support's going to come from now that Brad Chase and all these others have, and then the fundraiser? I mean, like, what's that about? Then here comes this BS phone call in. Like, you just had all of your kids taken by DCS, and then here you are weaponizing that crap for children you know have never missed a meal in their lives. I have taken care of them even in my own chaos. They have never missed clothing, Christmas, birthdays. Everything was celebrated. Unlike over there on that hill where they were told that, oh, well, because of our religion we don't, but you go to every damn church gathering up shit that you can, and then selling it online every year, and those kids are left with nothing again. I've struggled and went without eating and all kinds of things to take care of mine, even in the worst of times. And here's the kicker for me. You know, and like I said, I don't know. I don't know if people's burnt out brains don't realize or what. I mean, I know they know I've fed their kids. I know they know I've watched their kids, all of them, fight over one bowl of soup in that floor with a fork. And Andy is my witness. Maybe right now he's pissed, won't vouch, but I promise you that is the case. One bowl of soup, multiple kids, one fork. Yeah, piece, like a bowl of damn chicken noodle soup. What the hell is that about? But either way, they would come to my house and immediately upon entering go straight to my fridge. I've watched them take chocolate milk, regular milk, whatever they wanted out of the fridge, uncap it, drink straight out of it, and then leave it sitting on the floor, fridge door wide open, because they're not really taught any better. And get whatever they wanted off the shelves, and I had grill shelves all in the kitchen, food on them all times, freezers outside, you name it. And, you know, there were many times, including right after I had surgery. And the oldest two would always be the ones that would cross the hill. Not Summer, the next youngest. And, I seen their little feet under a curtain I blocked the living room from the kitchen off with. Because it was all glass and, you know, had hunters and things. So anyway, hunters, that way nobody gets that mixed up with. But anyway, I mean, I'd feel something, hear something, and I'd kind of come to. And I knew it was them in there. And they were just getting themselves something to eat. Or grabbing something off the shelves. And I'd never